I know that there is one force, one presence, and one mind in the universe, and that presence is God. Therefore, I know that everything which exists around me exists as an expression of this one divine and splendid Spirit. Oh, and as I relax into this knowing, I can see the presence of Spirit in everything that surrounds me. The trees and the flowers and the grasses and the stones are all the very presence of God. And I recognize that God is the force that moves the water in the flowing stream in perfect and divine order and timing. I know that God is the creation of all life and the beautiful mosaic of existence that connects all that is. Oh, and so I accept my own placement in this holy system. I know that God is the very essence of my own spirit, my own existence, and my own life. I know that force back of my existence is the same life force which created the earth and the stars and all life, and so I recognize that my life is holy. I know that God expresses through all life and through all people all the time. I know this is true of you too, that Spirit is the life force, the presence, at the core of our very being, which proclaims, I am. Knowing that we are one with the divine Creator, I accept now and proclaim our good here. I know the presence of God shines through us, and we freely and easily embrace the presence of Spirit in us. I know that we let the presence of pure Spirit radiate through our own being. The life and the love of God surrounds us, fulfills us, and embraces us. I also accept that this fullness of God is simply the return to who we truly are, as we are all creations of this one divine Creator God. So I know that accepting the presence of Spirit in us engenders a joy and a tranquility reminiscent of returning home as we embrace who we truly are. And I know and accept for us now that this joy and this peace and this empowerment follows us through all areas of our life. I know that God expresses fully through us. We realize that our very thoughts are the thoughts of God, our very words are the words of God, and our very actions are God in action through our being. So I know and accept that in our work and in our livelihood, we release any concerns and embrace the knowing that our work is God's work. Our work indeed is God working through us, and we celebrate that God has found a tool to accomplish this divine and holy work. Oh, and I also know and I accept the very presence of Spirit is the source of our own physical bodies, and that God continues to source our physical bodies continuously. So I accept for us that our bodies are receiving the loving, nurturing, and healthy healing of pure God right now. I embrace that presence of Spirit, sourcing our physical form. I know that God created our bodies and continues to create our bodies in whole, healthy, and perfect form. So I accept perfect health for us now, knowing the presence of Spirit creates only wholeness, health, and perfect harmony. The very same presence that keeps the waters moving peacefully down the stream with perfect timing also empowers our own bodies to accept, assimilate, and release with perfect timing, perfect clarity, and perfect grace. As I look into nature, at the very place where God expresses naturally and wholly, I can see the absolute abundance of Spirit in form. For each and every tree has so many leaves that they could not be counted, and the mountains are so supplied with trees that they also could not be counted. I see that each and every hillside is so full of grasses that indeed another blade of grass could not fit into the landscape. So I know that as spiritual creations, we also are abundantly supplied. I know and accept now that the good of Spirit flows to us from every possible direction and source. I know and accept the opulent supply for our every need, our every want, and our every desire. I know that the presence of God flows to us now in the form of money, in the form of time, and in love, commitment, and energy. I accept for us that we have all we could want, and I turn my back to anything that looks like a condition of want or lack or poverty. Oh, and I also know and I accept for us that the presence of Spirit, which is our very presence, knows and attracts to us all that we desire. I know that the presence of God is not a lonely presence, but an absolutely fulfilled presence. I know and accept that God surrounds each of us with divine companionship. I know and accept the presence of God draws to us exactly the right companion to facilitate us on our own path of personal growth and development. Oh, it has been said that to have a friend we must be a friend, and I accept the presence of God which sources each of us is indeed the perfect companion, drawing to us a perfect companion. So I know now that each of us, right here and right now, is fulfilled and surrounded by abundant friendships, each of which fulfills our soul and encourages us to strive for greater and greater expressions of that God presence within. Knowing all of these truths are what is so for each of us, I simply relax into the presence of Spirit, which supports the truth of all these things, and I'm very grateful for the God presence which is the joy, the peace, the opulence, and the fulfilled expression of each of us. I know that presence of God continues to bring us to the exact companions, work, and opulent lifestyle that will draw us to know God ever more fully, ever more completely, and ever more wholly, drawing us ever closer to the presence of Spirit, which is our own presence, which is that sacred return home. So with great gratitude and thanksgiving, I accept this presence of God, and I release these words unto the law of the universe, knowing these words were spoken with truth, and these words were spoken with the very voice of God expressing through me. So knowing that God is the very presence of all that is, I see all creation conspiring, realizing these truths for us now. And I know and I accept that the truth of these words, or something even greater, is already manifest for us. So accept with me these truths by releasing these words unto God and allowing each of us to be fulfilled with gratitude and love. And so it is. Amen.